when the new ABH Norvina Pro Pigment palette number 5 dropped, I didn't think I would be interested in it. Then I started seeing swatches and the shades that are in this palette, and it intrigued me, so I purchased it. So if you'd like to see how I created this look and some other information about this palette, just keep watching. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ange, where I like to share all things beauty and lifestyle as I navigate my more mature years and sharing that with other mature lasses. If that sounds like you, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button down below. I upload videos on a weekly basis and I would love to see you back. Now, as I said, this is not a palette I even thought would be in my radar. I don't tend to go for purple shades. I am more a neutrals girl, and then after that, probably warm palettes. And so to go for a purple palette is really out of my comfort zone for me. However, there is one palette in my collection that is a real fave, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. And so this is about the only, well, it is the only palette in my collection with anything resembling pink or purple tones. The reason I got this palette is I felt there were a little bit more variety in the neutral shades, not just the pinks and purples. So decided I would give it a go, and I do have to say, with the look I have created today, this is a first impressions. I actually really like the look that I have created today, so I am looking forward to playing with this more, and I am really quite impressed with it. I've never purchased any of the Norvina palettes before, not even the small palettes, and definitely none of the Pro Pigment large palettes. There are 25 deluxe size shadows in this palette, varying with quite pigmented mattes, multi-dimensional sparkly colours in here, some shimmers and some neutral shades, which is what drew me in. The palette comes with a very large mirror, which I find very helpful when applying shadows, because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that when I apply my eyeshadow, I like to check in the mirror and make sure that I can actually see the eyeshadow when my eyes are open, and that it's not lost in my hooded eyes, and that I can actually see the shadow. So having a mirror, and a good quality mirror in a palette, is a bonus for me. It's not a decider, but it is a bonus. Now there are quite a few shadows, and I'll tell you there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow! Out of the 25 shadows in here, 18 on the website say that they are not intended for use around the immediate eye area. So that's why it's called a Pro Pigment palette rather than an eyeshadow palette, and it is due to the particles in these multi-dimensional sparkly colours. I've used one of those shades on my eyes today. I've had no irritation, but I have only just applied them. I have not had issues with sparkly glittery shades in the past, but I would say that if you do have sensitive eyes, you would need to be very cautious and probably take heed to that warning on their website. I purchased my palette from Anastasia website directly. I got 15% off because it was the first time I had ordered off the website. It was free shipping to New Zealand, and I got it rather quickly. So I am very impressed with the service, how quickly it got here, considering it was coming from the United States to me here in New Zealand. Now, if you're not already aware, I do have a blog, and that is angelastuartbeauty.com, and I will do pictures of all the swatches from this palette, and I follow up all of my videos with a blog, so if you ever want to check out any information relating to any of my videos, there's probably a backup blog to that on my website. Feel free to hop over to that. I also have been becoming a little bit more active on Instagram, and my handle is always up in the corner here if you want to check out my Instagram account as well. And sometimes I will put different things up there just of purchases that I have got and other little bits and pieces related to my life, or just some fun things as well. So before we get into this palette, I will show you some swatches, and they really are very, very stunning. I seriously do not know what possessed me to buy a purple palette, but for some reason this just spoke to me as being something a little bit different to what I have, and something that I hope I can get a lot of wear out of. So I'm going to try it for the first time today, and hopefully we can come up with a nice look. Please let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see a 3 looks 1 palette with this Norvina palette, and I will get on to that. Now I have primed my eyes with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and then just set it with my Hourglass Diffused Light setting powder. I'm going to go in with this shade here, A4, as my transition shade, and let's try the Morphe M504 for that. This looks like a nice simple transition shade. Nice simple transition shade, and I'm just going to do little circular motions in that top area of my eye. If you're wanting to know why I go so high, I will leave a link to a video here on why I place my shadows where I do for my hooded eyes, and the fact that I have quite a bit of real estate up the top here. So I'm just putting my transition area in there, and from looking at that palette, that was definitely what I would call the lightest that I could use in here for a neutral transition. I'm going to try E5, this really dark one. Hope I'm making a good decision. With a small tapered brush, Sigma E45. So we'll take that shade. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, here goes the tap tap. I'm going to tap it off because they are very pigmented shadows, and I'm just going to tap that on my eye. Okay, so I'm just doing the tap tap and taking that up, and this is definitely purple. I don't know why I thought they would be sort of brown and purple, but definitely purple based. I'm going to use that same shade and run it under my eye. Actually, I quite like that. That is a really pretty purple shade. Really running that under the eye now. This is a good little brush for doing that as well. Now, I'm not terribly dressed up today. I've been planning on filming this for 2 or 3 days, but beginning of the school holidays, and I thought I'd do a big clean of the house since having my daughter home from university. The house really needed a big done out. She's a bit of a tornado, love her to bits, but I needed to get my house back in order, and I really jiggered my back on Saturday and have been in a lot of pain. So 3 days in and I'm able to sit down and film, and it's freezing and I don't feel particularly flash, so I've just got my polar fleece jacket on and a t-shirt, and we're filming in a cold room. So I just really have been dying to play with this. I actually really like that colour. Running that under the eye. Right, I'm going to take a smaller little palette and look straight ahead, making sure I've got the shade where I want it. I actually might get a clean mirror, and I really think it's important to, if you're especially working with darker colours, to get a mirror, look straight ahead into it, and make sure, especially for hooded eyes, that you can see the shade when your eyes are open. There are so many beautiful shimmery shades in this palette that I do think it would warrant a 3 looks 1 palette. And today, okay, I'm going to take a Sephora Pro Shadow brush in a number 14, and I'm going to take this shade down the bottom, a 3. And this is a shimmer shade rather than a metallic glitter. And I am going to pop that on my lid. Wow, that's really, really pretty. I mean, I'd love to leave it there, but I think I might put a little bit of glitter on. They do recommend on the site, as I mentioned, that some of these shades are not intended for the eye, and that is to cover themselves because of the particles in the shadows. But I think I will, and I am going to use my finger, and I'm going in with D, this beautiful glittery shade here, D2. I'm going to pop that in the centre of my lid. Oh wow, I feel like a harlequin. That is pretty impressive. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think I am going to have a lot of fun with this palette. You certainly are not going to get one trick pony looks. There's so many different shades in here that I might have to do 2 videos of 3 looks 1 palette. I think it's going to be quite easy to come up with different colour combinations. I love that A2 shade. Really do. Stunning. Going to go back in with our original 504 brush and the A4 shade, and I'm just, as I like to always do, buffing out the transition area. I don't like harsh lines. I'm just tweaking the shades. I do have to say I'm not normally someone who reaches for purple shades, but I'm really enjoying this. first impressions, but really enjoying it. Okay, so really that's quite simple. So I'm just going to add some liner. I have got such a lot of brushes to wash tonight. It is my next job that I have to get. I've got so many makeup brushes that are dirty that need cleaning. So I am just using the Wayne Goss Essential Eye Kohl pencil, and this is in Deep Amethyst. And just doing my top waterline and trying a little bit to get into the actual lash line. I might smoke out the bottom just a little bit more with that shade. Okay, so I'm going to apply some lashes and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so that is the finished look with lashes and eyeliner, and I only used 3 shades and I am very happy with this look. I am looking forward to doing 3 looks 1 palette because the array of shades in here, I think I could create quite a few stunning and different eye looks. So please let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see that. I really do think that there is a lot of combinations in here and I would be able to come up with different looks. If you enjoyed that guys, please give the video a thumbs up. It would truly help me out. I hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See you later guys. Bye.